John Wood Jr. here live at the Better Angels Founding Convention 2018. And I'm here with a fascinating thinker, public intellectual, supporter and board member of Better Angels, Mr. Jonathan Rauch. Jonathan, pleasure to get to talk to you.
It's so nice to be here.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's a privilege for me personally. And so, I wanted to ask you very quickly, first of all, how has your experience been here at the convention? Now, this is day 2 of Better Angels' first national convention, founding convention. People are here from all across the country who are interested and committed in the cause of depolarization, including yourself. So what has your experience here been like?
I think I could summarize it in one 3-letter word, and that word would be awe. I walked in yesterday to the cafeteria for the dinner before the opening plenary session and beheld there an entire college cafeteria, table after table, a sea of people from all over the country.
Right.
37 states, I think they told me, almost 200 people. This movement didn't exist a year ago. It was a handful of people, and now it's everywhere. And these people are paying their own money to be here. And I'm kind of overwhelmed at this outpouring. And I feel privileged to be a witness to it.
Now, you're a person who I think in the course of your career has perhaps felt the sting of polarization in some ways. I mean, I think that people generally look at you as a more conservative leaning thinker, yet at the same time you clearly have many values and opinions which resonate with people who are more conventionally left of center. In your estimation, what is the state of, not necessarily polarization in America, but picking up on what you just said, what is the state of the depolarization movement? Is it possible that this particularly divisive time in American history is actually providing a new sort of energy and vigor to those groups, organizations, and individuals who might seek to buck the trend as pertains to partisanship in America and actually create a more unifying sort of conversation?
Boy, I hope so, John. We're seeing in the wake of the 2016 election, Americans across the country who are feeling like they don't want to be helpless in the face of this partisan animus that we're seeing. And that animus is something new. People always disagree. And Democrats and Republicans have very different views, but each side didn't view the other side as personally hostile or as a threat to the well-being of the country. And people understand that perception, that animosity is itself a threat, and we're seeing groups around the country taking shape to try to take matters into their own hands, to try to build bridges across these divides, all kinds of ways. We're seeing campus groups, we're seeing grass tops groups, kind of community organizations. And of course, we're seeing Better Angels, which I think is setting the pace for a grassroots national movement.
Right. Do you have any advice to people, whether in the academic arena, the conventional political arena, students on college campuses, writers, journalists, who may have a desire to foster a more open-minded dialogue and to push back against the sort of reflexive demonization that colors and characterizes so much of our political discourse, but who may be afraid to suffer personal or professional, perhaps tarnish or backlash amongst those groups or sets of people of whom they may feel that they need to curry favor. What do you say to people who need a little bit of courage or encouragement to go out and take the kind of stand that we see people taking to Better Angels and elsewhere across America in the name of depolarization?
So, John, you used this very important, interesting word, reflexive. It's interesting that you chose that word because in psychology, what we've learned is that human beings are reflexively tribal. We seek out people like ourselves. We seek out information that bolsters our worldview, and we especially seek out information and situations that bolster our tribal solidarity. And so now, of course, our parties and identifications have become our tribes, and that's making it hard to communicate, and it's reflexive, right?
Right.
So it takes a deliberate, conscious choice to decide to try to depolarize ourselves and break through the tribal ties. It's hard, though. We're not wired that way.
Yeah.
The genius of the Better Angels model, and the reason I would recommend it, is a really good starting point for someone who's not sure how to deal with these issues and how to connect. Better Angels is a structured conversation. It's not just people going in there and having arguments trying to persuade each other. In fact, that is strictly not allowed.
It's not a debate.
It's not a debate. It's come as you are and leave as you are. No one's allowed to go in there with the mindset of, I'm going to change John Ward's mind because that sucker is wrong.
Although I'm sure some people have said that before.
It probably has been said of me. Instead, it is a structured dialogue. People aren't even allowed to interact directly with the other side until more than halfway through, until they've learned to really listen and to try to put themselves in the other side's shoes. So it's not about persuasion or conflict, it's about connection.
Right.
And that makes it an easy, natural first step to take. You don't have to worry about people hammering you or about safe space. People are there because they want to connect.
Well, my hope is that Americans and the people listening to this interview take your advice and get involved in Better Angels.
I hope so too.
Mr. Rauch?